Howdy guys, Kirk here with Jason and Dan, your favorite how-to stucco guy. I'm going to answer a question a lot of you guys are asking me. They're saying, gee whiz, man, I went over to Home Depot and I went to Lowe's, I went to all these stores and they have this one coat stucco. Does that mean you put it on in one coat? Not really. That means scratch and brown it anyway. And for a few people that I've said that to, they say, well, can you put it on one coat? And I thought, well, I can. I don't know if you can, but Jay went ahead and mixed me up a couple buckets right here. Now this stuff has got a set time of about 15 minutes, and he mixed it about 10. So we got some stiff mud going on. I got 5 minutes to put this on. Can I do that? I think so. Let me show you guys if you want to try the one coat stuff. What you're going to do is, a lot of times I'll start from the top. Now I start from the top because I get my joint in here to let that set. Okay, but for the sake of showing you guys and trying to get rid of this stiff mud quick, I'm starting right where I am. Okay, and notice guys, I'm putting it on one fat coat. You can do that if you know how to. And here's another thing guys, the mud, the wall we're doing, the patch right here should have 3/4 shear, but it's got 1/2 inch. What does that mean? That means I'm going about 1.5 inches with this stucco rather than say 7/8 of an inch. Is that a big deal? Not really. It's for a lot of you guys out in the UK. In the UK, they call stucco render. Here in the United States, we call render stucco or cement plastering. Both mean the exact same thing, guys. So, for the sake of moving on, I've got to build out a good 1.5 inches. Woo, and this mud, again, see how stiff it is right here. That's nothing old Kirk can't handle. I'm going to leave this wall funky. I'm going to leave it fat and ugly. What does fat and ugly mean? That means that I'm going to leave some fat on it. It doesn't have to be pretty. That's pretty ugly right there because I'm going to hit it with a rod or a Darby as most people call it. And here, what I'm doing is I'm bringing it upward a couple times because what I want to do is go under this lip right here. And by the way, guys, your edges right here, clean all the dust out of there. Clean all that stucco. Or you get a perimeter crack. Okay, now, this particular material here, it's sold at all the stores. Like I said earlier, Home Depot, Lowe's. A lot of the cements we buy are from plastering yards. Meaning, their plastering yards are few. They're not as available as the rest. We pull this stuff mud here. Now Dan, let's see what you got for me. Give me that mud. Go ahead and put that mud down. Let's see what Dan got for us. You got what? Let's see. Let's see what you got. Don't put it. You know, I'll work that. I'll work it. Put it all on there, Dan, please. All right. Dan got me some soupier mud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scratch this with this thicker mud. I'm going to scratch it with the thicker mud, and then I'll use his mud, which is, I got about 20 minutes with his mud. Okay. Because it's a little thicker, I'm going to do something I generally don't do, which is going to confuse half the people watching, but I want this to set at one time. So if I put, see how soupy this mud is here? It's not really soupy, it's good mud. But I'm going to rob Peter to pay Paul, sort of. I'm going to take some of this stiff mud here because that's what I want for a scratch coat. You can put a stiff mud on first and then a light mud on second, but you cannot put a wet mud on first and a hot mud or a thick mud on second, because that will crack like an egg. Before it's dry, you'll have the bottom not setting and you have the top cracking. It'll spider crack every which way. So what I'm about to do is we're just improvising, meaning a thick coat on the bottom, and then we go with a little super mud on the top. I need one more small amount. This is for you guys say, well, gee whiz, I put it on, I made the mix terrible. Just improvise. Stucco, or as they say in the UK, is all about improvising. Practice too, of course. Now see, this mud here is a little looser. Actually, this mud here, I can relax. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is actually pretty good mud. I don't like to relax too much. I like to get her done. So, I'm getting back to fat and ugly once more. And again, what the heck does that mean? The Darby, or the rod, another fellow from the UK emailed me yesterday and he called it something else. I forget the name of it because I've never heard of it. But generally, we call the stick. When I was union, this is a Darby, technically. D-A-R-B-Y, Darby. We call them screeds, T-bars. What is a Darby? The Darby is what makes this look easy. Say like, all right, I'm putting it on right now. And can I make this true and plumb in all directions with my trowel? You bet. Like say, for example, all right, I fill it up. I can look at this, and because I've been doing this forever, I can look at it, true it out. I'm going to true it out, just basically make it where I don't have to use the Darby. But for you guys, I'll show you how to use the Darby. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm looking at it, and since I'm giving you a lot of instructions that most of you probably say, what the heck is he doing? I'll say something else too. If I wanted to have this dry fast, I put my trowel on edge. Now watch this. It's going like on edge, like this. It's opening this. That will dry fast. If I do this with my trowel, I'm sealing it. It's a smooth trowel finish. That will take forever to dry, or it'll take a lot longer. Okay, back over here where Fat and Ugly is the name. We're going to go Fat and Ugly. Hey, Dan. No worries. All right, so Fat and Ugly, which means if I don't look at the wall, I'll just make it fat. I make it ugly because Fat and Ugly gives me a lot of playroom. Okay, it gives me a lot of playroom, guys. When we worked union, we'd say, man, give it to me fat and ugly with the gun. Hey, Dan! A little bit more mud, Dan! All right. We're gonna do this. Since I'm waiting on some mud now, I'm gonna take this Darby and float, which is way over here. And you never want to try to Darby a wall or rod a wall, square off a wall, and you could even use a 2x4, guys, with a dry Darby, because a dry Darby or square will drag it. You got to wet this guy. So we wet it with the water that's in this bucket. And I know how much time I have. I've been doing this forever. I know how much time I have on this wall. I know how much time I have on that wall. And there's not very much. Darby, I'm going to hit this wall here. I'm going to use the door frame. I'm not going to jack up that door frame because we got tape on it. But even if there wasn't tape, it's not going to hurt that door frame. I'm just going to take it, go up. A few holidays, no worries. You just put here, pull it up, take it sideways. A holiday up there, boom, it's done. Now I'm going to take this other wall I did here, a little hollow, but nothing we can't handle. Blam. Take it here. Now, all I have left is waiting on mud for this side here and this side here. And yes, I am one coating it. I'm putting 1.5 inches at one time. Should you guys do it if you don't know how? No. Can you have a little bit more there, Dan, please? Because if you put, perfectamundo, cool beans. All right, with this mud here, Sometimes the sand at the bottom of a bucket won't get mixed in it. If that happens, just mix it on the board, guys. No worries. All right, let me give that top a little bit more. One, I can see where it's hollow. And right where it's hollow, I'm filling it out. And again, if you're looking, you have to determine a lot of things when doing stucco. One of them is, how hot is it? Right now, it's about 90. Love it. Loving it, 90. Okay, so we're taking. Now we're going to take our trowel on edge. Smooth this out. That's rotted. That's ready for a float. What does a float mean? This is a float finish. Now I'm going to start at the bottom here. I've used up all that hot mud, which was drying fast in the bulk. If I were to mess around and do this, I'd lose the wall. I'd lose the mud. One thing about stucco, guys, it doesn't wait for anybody. It doesn't wait for old Kirk. It doesn't care if I do videos. It doesn't care if you folks like to watch what I do. It just hardens when it wants. So here we go. We're going to pass that up. Take it like that. Other side, exact same thing. I'll start from the bottom. I can start from the middle if I wanted to. But usually if you start from the bottom, it gives it something to hold on to. We take it, boom. Take it. And this doesn't have to be pretty. If a wire pokes out, use your finger, put it back in, guys. All right, we're back where we were. This will do it here. One there, one there. Use this wood and this wall as your template or your screed, your guide. Take it straight up, guys. Boom. All right, now I've got 10 minutes. Now I'll show you how to float this. Okay, guys, let me show you. It's been about 15 minutes, actually about 10. And what did I do while I waited for this to set? I spread out about 6 more windows is what I did. You don't sweat like this if you're sitting down sipping a margarita and waiting for cement to dry. We keep moving, keep moving. Of course, I'm sweating out all my toxins. My joint. Okay, wet float, green sponge float. What does sponge float mean? It's a sponge, like washing dishes. All right. Generally, I'm going to pull it here and wet my tape. Wet this tape because I'm going to be pulling off soon. All right, now we're going to float down into the wall. Now this is dry already because it's like 100 degrees, guys. So you wet it again. When I'm real tired or feeling lazy, I put a bucket on a bucket. That way I don't have to bend down. Sweating out the toxins, and I don't mean toxins such as alcohol because I don't drink unless I'm with a friend or by myself. But here's what we do, guys. We spin this. Spin it. Get your joint first. Okay, that joint up top is getting hard. Fortunately, I'm so tall, I don't need a ladder for over here. Now, this sponge is kind of dirty right now, but I'm going to hit the middle. Open it up. This allows the stucco to breathe. This is floating it. I'm getting out the Darby lines. The Darby seals it. This opens it up and allows it to breathe. That way, it can dry even faster. What I want it to dry fast because I have about 6 other windows in the hot sun, and I'm hustling. All right, we're taking the water. Now, as I go over this, less and less water is coming off the float. So now I'll just take the rest off, go in circular motions right here. Boom, that's it. This is dry as a bone. It will do no good to keep using a dry float. So now I'm going to start it again. I'm going to start at that top joint because I want to wet that joint. I want to wet and I'm going to pull into. What I do is I pull our new stucco, or as my buddies in the UK call it, my new render, into the existing render. What happens if I go the other way, guys, and I pull from the existing down? Well, I pull my own stucco out. The whole thing will fall right out. I'm going to wet this down again. You don't have to watch it. Just flip that, flip it back, dip it in that bucket, a little bit out. Now again, go upward, otherwise we'll drop that joint. It's setting, but it ain't that set yet. All right, we take it right there. We got this side to do. Now, same deal applies. Go upward on the joints. Because although I think it's pretty hard, I could be wrong. I've been wrong a few times. That's how you learn. That's called stucco wisdom. When you screw stuff up, You have to go back and fix it. That is the beginning of wisdom. You don't want to do that too often, guys. All right, now this wall is almost done, so I can relax a little bit more. A minute ago I was hustling, thinking, man, I'm going to lose those other windows. But I have Dan on that side, and Dan's on those windows. And as soon as Jay gets off that camera, he's going to be on those sides. All right, so we're going to take it, we're going to feather. We're going to take the new into the existing. What happens if I go that way? I can pull this out and create a nasty joint. That's called lousy feathering if you do that. The transitions are what determines a good finish to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. The transition has got to match when it's painted. 2 coats of paint and it should match. If somebody says, well, gee whiz, paint it 6 more times and it'll match. They didn't do the finish right. Okay, nasty joint right there. I'm gonna wet the whole thing because I got a lot of water on this float. And they do have other floats. They're called hard rubber floats. Hard rubber float has a different purpose than this green sponge float. This green sponge float brings out the sand or the aggregate. What's aggregate? Fancy word for sand, rocks. Okay, now here's what I'm doing. Now I'm looking at it and thinking, is this passable? Okay, clean this tape. Why do you clean the tape, guys? I'm not cleaning the tape for looks of the tape. I'm cleaning the tape to clean the edge because I'm getting ready to pull this window. Now I clean the window, the tape rather. We clean it because again, I'm getting ready to yank this off. And if I leave all this stucco all over the tape, what happens, guys? All you plasterers who follow me or you render guys in the UK know what'll happen. That will tear the stucco off. We don't want that. All right, we feather in real nice. Now I'm just going to go back and look at it once more. And if I've seen anything I did wrong, fix it now before I pull this tape. Now I'm looking at it a little tighter. So when I get to this stage, now I look at it with a critical eye. Okay, quit messing around. Is this about right, what they have? They have a float finish that's been painted about 10 times because it's about a 90-year-old house. So if I go super heavy, it won't match. I've got to get it to where 2 coats of paint, primer and top coat, will match this. So I'm looking at what they got and I'm thinking to myself, match this and think, right now it's rough, but when they prime and paint this, what's that going to do? It's going to soften this. So I want to soften this finish. I want it just where the 2 coats of paint, which is a primer and paint, will soften it. And that'll give us as close to existing as possible. Again, have I done every finish perfectly? Nobody can do that, and if anybody said they could, they're goofy. Doesn't work that way. Okay, so now that the tape is clean, my finish is done. I'd normally go back around and finish the other patches, but for the sake of showing you guys, I'm going to go ahead and pull this now. Now we take our handy dandy gloves off. By the way, this stuff got lye in it, L-Y-E, and lime. That will burn your hands, it'll burn your knuckles. When you close your knuckles, they'll bleed in every joint. So wear gloves, guys. Even you tough guys, put your head the other way and pull it off, guys. All right, pull it off. A little bit at a time. There's no hurry on this. Okay, what a pretty door. Get rid of that, and guys, you can do it 2 ways. You can take your glove or take a rag and wipe off any excess here. I'm personally going to use my float. You can take a rag and clean up, and boom, you're done. There's nothing to it. So all you guys from the UK who say, Kirk, we see all this 1 coat stucco and it says do 1 coat. You can do it, but you better know what you're doing. If you don't, do a scratch coat, come back to it, do a brown coat, let them sit. Actually, you could even do it the next day too. Put your scratch on and do the brown because you guys will drop a lot of mud. I have the benefit of Jason or Lou. They make me look good because they're experts at mixing. Plus Jay's a licensed plasterer too, so he knows exactly what he's doing. Anyway, my name is Kirk, Jason on the camera. We thank you for watching. And as usual, guys, we'll see you on the next one.
Once again, folks, we thank you for watching, and I really enjoy all your comments, If you guys like this video, please click the like button down below, and also if you enjoy what we do, subscribe to our channel so we can keep making these videos for you.
My name is Kirk.
And Jay.
We thank you for watching, and from the entire Giordano family, we'll see you on the next one.